This episode of the Fiction Writers Podcast is brought to you by How to Write a Novel That Sells. Do you dream of writing a best-selling fiction novel? With the right tools, you could get there sooner than you think. Visit www.howtowriteanovelthatsells.com and unlock the secrets to writing compelling fiction taught by international best-selling author Lana McAra. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where you will discover tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Here you'll find new energy, new perspectives, new resources, and new ideas that will spark your creativity into a blaze of brilliance. It's easier than you think. Be sure you visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, get out your notebook, tune in, and let's get started.
Financial planners are always telling us to diversify. Diversify your assets, your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, basically. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Lana McAra. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast. Tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. When I say diversify, I'm talking about publishing. Traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and independent publishing. Independent could mean you're publishing to Amazon or Ingram Sparks, or maybe some other independent publishing opportunity. There are a lot of little companies around, and there are agencies that will help you form your own publishing company. So those are all independents. They are not part of a corporation, publishing corporation. So could you do some of each? You sure could. You sure could. Now, back in the day when I started out, I had one choice, traditional. That was it. And once I got a traditional house to accept me, they began to publish my books regularly. I didn't have to go looking for another publisher. I didn't have a contract, an exclusive contract with them, that I had to go with them, but they took what I was writing. They were publishing a lot of books for me. I'm talking about, we were selling a lot of books. My sales are now at 1 million copies sold. So they were putting out a lot of books with my name on them. And that was working for me. So I did not have any reason to change. But now that company is no longer in business, and the world has changed. The world is totally changed right now. And we've got options. So maybe you could diversify a little bit. So what I'm talking about is taking advantage of some of the benefits of each of the different kinds. If you have a traditional publisher, then you have distribution with them that may be broader than you would have with the others, possibly. Depends on the house. Check them out. One of the things I do is I look at their list of authors, and then I go over to Amazon and see what their rankings are. How many reviews do they have? What are the stars on the books that they're putting out? And try to get an idea of the type and quality of book that this publisher is releasing. And are they selling many books? If their authors are having 1,000 or more reviews, that publisher's got good distribution. If their authors are having 10 reviews, not so much. So check them out. Always check them out. It doesn't matter if it's traditional, hybrid, or independent. Always check them out. So if you did that and you went through the process of submitting the proposal and going through all of that, it takes some time. But if you have a title that you want to dedicate to trying traditional, that's fine. If you are putting out other books in the meantime, great. And so the traditional route has its benefits. You get money, you don't pay money. It's one of the biggest benefits of traditional. And hybrid. Now, hybrid has some benefits too. They have more distribution than independent. They have access to really good cover design, usually. Checked out the covers on previous titles. I want a hybrid publisher that puts out a good cover. And I was disappointed. I have been disappointed in the past, and then I don't want to go back to them again. So, with 44 titles, I've had a lot of experience with different areas of these various facets that I'm talking about here. And so you could have expanded distribution, you could have some credibility, because that's one of the big things that hybrid does for you. And then you have how do they work with you? I had a client working with a hybrid publisher, and that publisher was driving her crazy with phone calls, multiple times a day, phone calls. Why? I don't know. They couldn't go to the beach. They couldn't go on vacation. The phone was ringing till that person eventually blocked them from calling her. They were just harassing her from the minute they started to the end. Whether the book was good quality or not doesn't matter if they're taking your quality of life down, to nothing, because they won't let you have a minute's peace. So, how are these people to work with? If they are making your life miserable, then I'd move on. I'm not interested in that. So the hybrid has its good sides. It can also have its downsides. And then independent. With independent, you can do what you want. You go get the cover you want. You go get the layout you want. And you retain all the rights, and you set the pricing. That's another thing. You set the pricing yourself. You can choose how it is put out, ebook, audiobook, print, what kind of print, hardcover, softcover. You can choose all that stuff. And you have all of that power to keep for yourself. So what I'm suggesting here is diversifying. If you have a strong book or a strong series, think about putting it out to hybrid or traditional, because you can take another series and do it independent. What will happen then is your hybrid book or your traditional book will bring you up in the rankings on Amazon and Ingram and so forth. And then you can have your independent title coming up in the list of also other titles by this author, because they don't discriminate between where it was published. Because a hybrid publisher is going to charge $4,000 to $6,000, sometimes more. I had a book accepted by a hybrid recently, and they wanted me to buy 2,500 copies of the book. The books cost us $7 to $8 a piece. 2,500 copies would be about $20,000 worth of books. No, I'm not going to do that. Why would I? Why would I spend $20,000 to buy a bunch of books that are going to fill my garage? Or maybe I'm going to have to, with all those books, I might have to hire a storage unit and start paying money every month. No. So be careful. Be careful with your contract. But if you do have $5,000 to do one book with a hybrid, then you've got an in with that company and you've got clout. I am a whatever company, publisher, author. I published with so-and-so. And that will help. That will help your career. Because what are you doing here? You're building a brand. You're building a brand over time. Because those of us who are in the publishing world, we know we've got more than one book in us. Other ideas keep coming. I've got 3 or 4 ideas right now that I could sit down and start writing on at any moment when I have time. And so you want to build your brand. And that can mean diversifying. Diversifying. Don't get stuck in a rut. Maybe, just maybe, it would help you to do some of each. I hope that helps you today. My name is Lana McAra. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning into the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where we share tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Remember to visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Fiction Writers Podcast.